Hello, Targar friends. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again, it's time for another Orc Mode workout. Today was max effort, lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. We got a lot to talk about because we did some different stuff today. I did 2 maxes today, not 1. We're going back to double maxes on lower days. Now, I'm still, again, getting used to the straight bar again, but I think I've more or less found my position. Again, I'm going off of a very deep box. For me, it doesn't look like I hit parallel from the front when I hit parallel, and I've shown you guys with video footage from the side. These are very, very deep below parallel. This is a deep box, and I want to work off this deep box for a reason, because I want to be able to squat really deep again, and I want the carry over to my deadlift. I want all the glute and everything. So the first set with 54 chains looked really good. I was very happy with it. I went up 30 pounds, and while it felt fairly grindy, we're very close to a max here. Off this box, I did not like the form. Watch what happens with my elbows on the way up. I'm good there. Then we get right there in the middle. My elbows come up. Okay, it's a little bit of an upper back weakness, and I'm kind of concerned seeing that because last week I did this exact same weight, almost, with a safety bar. I believe there was only it was 14 pounds lighter with the same amount of chains, so 54 chains. I only did 14 pounds less with a safety bar. I shouldn't be seeing that coming out. So again, we have to continue to really hammer the safety bar good mornings. I'm going to need to keep working my upper back, lots of rowing. I went with, using the Texas bar, went with a 1-inch deficit deadlift. I decided to just do this with no straps because we are weaker when we lose our straps. Hopefully everyone realizes this. Everyone has a higher max with straps, even if your grip is good. So I built up to 575. This felt grindy enough that I stopped. Notice where it slows, a couple inches below the knees. Once I got past the knees, I felt like it exploded through the lockout. Okay, no grip problems, but based upon what I'm seeing there, I feel like it's hamstrings and lats. Okay, again, based upon where I'm slowing on that specific lift. Hey, I blasted through my lockout. The lockout felt really easy. Once I cleared the knee, it felt like 100 pounds was lifted off the bar. My glutes are not a weakness. We know that my glutes are arguably the strongest muscle in my body based upon my supplemental work. I got to work my hamstrings and I've got to work my lats more. Now, the lats are being hammered really hard, trying to up my lat volume in general. But I'm like, well, what supplemental lift do we need to do? We don't need to do glute bridges. Let's do Romanian deadlifts. I have not done these in many years. I prescribe these to my clients. A lot of people think I'm anti-RDL. No, I have clients who do them. We just don't replace good mornings with them. I'm going to do good mornings after this. So one of the things I'm going to note, I did these really, again, just to put a good hamstring and lat exercise in that lets me still use the lats on a pull. But my adductors lit up. Now, I actually prescribe RDLs and deep box squats for lifters who have adductor weaknesses. I also have them do box sumo deadlifts and things, right? I noticed my adductors were throbbing after these sets. They were throbbing. And there's a very good argument. A lot of coaches out there make a good argument for why the RDL is a great adductor movement. We could argue it's better than the good mornings. I'm strong at good mornings. I felt my adductors more here. And I didn't go crazy heavy. I'm like, let me start with a weight that's going to be challenging, but I know I could do a couple more reps with. So I went with 425 because I'm going to do these every ME day now, and I'm going to build up off maybe sets of 6. Did 3x6 with 425. It was challenging, but as you guys watch, I have a lot of speed on the concentric rep. Right, a lot of speed on the concentric. I have more in the tank. So I'm going to keep it that way and start building. I'll probably go up 10 pounds next week, and we'll build these up. I'm going to predict it's not going to take me a super long time to be doing 500 for sets of 6. That'd be a good goal to reach for. And again, I was shocked at the adductor because I'm like, I could always stand to bring adductors up for my squatting. I know my glutes are good and we're getting plenty of glute work in. Everything I do is a glute exercise. But I was shocked. In fact, I was so worried I wasn't going to be able to good morning because my adductors were hit so hard there that I went down 10 pounds. I went back to what I have been doing on these and they were still challenging. I had stepped up to 301. I went down to 291 for 3 sets of 10. And yeah, I know this is my weakest good morning. Guys are used to me doing close to 400 for 10 with the other bar. I need the upper back work, because seeing that little bit of upper back weakness still when the squat got heavy, when the chains kicked in. When those chains kicked in, again, a little bit of struggle to keep that chest up and those elbows down. Now, part of that can be me still getting used to a straight bar again, right? And getting into the tight enough position and getting the bar in the right position. Because again, I couldn't use the straight bar for a long time as I've been working on that pull-up impingement. And as I've got it rehabbed, I'm able to do that. And I did 10 sets of speed work with the straight bar last week. So it's coming along, but I still probably have to get used to the straight bar again. And until I do, that weak link may appear to be there. And it's probably a technical and tightness issue. But notice that it didn't appear with 30 pounds less on the bar. It did not appear till I got to the heaviest single. So I need to make sure I keep working that. Now, there are people out there who will argue, well, that's a sign of a quad weakness. There's no way that's a quad weakness on a box squat. Box squat with chains. But I'm still working my quads, and look at my quads. Come on, guys. I think it's a combination of technical and tightness combined with my whole upper back just needs to get stronger. Probably my middle back too. Really, I just need to get the upper half of my back stronger, which is, again, we're seeing me work very hard on. I don't feel that my lats are up to speed based upon my pull-ups and chin-ups at the moment, which we're able to do again. And they regressed a lot. I used to be a lot stronger at chins. Notice how much stronger my deadlift was and how fast my deadlift was. Over 600 deadlifts when I was doing 10 sets of 10 on chin-ups every day. Okay. So as we get stronger in the lats, that's going to help with all of these things too. I feel like it has turned into a bit of a weak link again for me. Even though my rows are strong, my pull-ups and chin-ups are not. So we're going to prioritize lats even more on upper days. But on my lower days, we're going to do a lot of lifts for lats. Now, I went with these split squats again, and I got a lot of advice, good advice from people, but I don't want to not know how much tension I'm putting on a muscle, because I can calculate this based upon my single leg work and my body weight and how it carries over. I know how much tension I want. If I start putting my hands on the rack, it's not good. Now, this first set, I struggled with 5. But as I got the form dialed in, and I've realized I just have to master the form, the third set was beautiful. I only got 5 reps, and I have to always lead with that first leg. The right leg, when I go to it, it seems easier in general. So we know my left quad is weaker. Okay? I think it's clearly evident by watching this. It's clearly evident. And I got DOMs from doing these last week, by the way. I got DOMs. And part of me wants to do step-ups on my dynamic day. But man, I feel like these may be bringing more to the table for me. Like I was going to do 2 different single leg exercises. I think I need to just keep hammering these Bulgarian split squats with a safety bar. I need to keep hammering these. They got easier with each set as I learned how to balance myself. And the balance, again, is not an issue of balancing myself. It is finding the correct foot angle. The foot angle that keeps that weight correct. And really, it's putting myself into a foot angle to where my weight is centered over the foot, to where it's not to the side. Got my toe turned in slightly, so that again, the foot is basically the center line of my body. Once I learned to do that, because I noticed on the second set I did it really easily with the right foot, we got 6 reps. Then we get to the last set, which should be the hardest, and I got 7 reps because I found the correct footing. So I need to just practice this. So for me, a lot of this is going to be technical in nature. And if I can, in 2 workouts, get up to now 7 reps on the last set, and they felt good, I'm getting the technique down now, I think I can continue to progress on this. And if we can progress on it, again, we'll bring the quads up. And this is just for quads and glutes. Now, I could argue adductor and everything, but it's not hitting the adductors like the box work does, and it's not hitting the adductors like those RDLs are. But it is giving me a nice deep stretch on the quads. Both sides, by the way, people forget there. Look at the quad being stretched. Right? So you're working the lower quad mostly, the whole quad, but then you're getting the lower teardrop there by getting the deep position at the bottom. And it is deep, but we're not looking at what's parallel. We're looking at the knee angle relative to everything. Right? You're still getting a deep knee angle there. But then the rectus femoris is being worked a lot on that stretch position, which is, by the way, critical to the deadlift. And it was interesting because I felt the RF on the Romanian deadlifts when EMG studies show that when you do an RDL versus a conventional deadlift, it uses a lot less. I noticed it on the RDLs though. It's supposedly de-emphasized compared to a conventional deadlift according to EMG, but I sure felt it. Of course, I felt it stretch even deeper on the side that's up, on the foot that's behind you when you're doing those split squats. And that's something that people have to remember. That side is still getting a work load put on it. It's just a different workload. So we're working the quads in a different manner and different heads of the quads with a different emphasis on each leg when we switch them. That's interesting. But I noticed that my rectus femoris had DOMs in it after I did those last week. For a couple days. It was for 2 days. It was all the way into my next leg workout. Okay, so I felt that, and then I felt my VMO with DOMs also, just to a lesser extent. So I know I'm getting good quad work on those. So we're going to keep it in just as a quad accessory because I'm not doing any supplemental squatting. And I'm going to have to destroy my hamstrings. Hamstrings and lats are holding my deadlift back, and I need more back work in general for even my squatting. Because again, we're seeing that potential upper and middle back on those heaviest sets of squats, and I need that to go away. Cannot afford that. Need it gone. I need to be able to keep that upper back in extension. And that's a back extension issue on that squat. All right, because the elbows shouldn't be coming up if I keep that upper back in full extension, pulling down on the bar. So that is an upper back weakness. But again, middle back can contribute. So we need to be hammering the lats, everything else. So it's going to be a lot of pull-ups, a lot of rows. I think I'm going to do 2 types of rows, 2 types of pull-ups on all my upper days. I'm going to put a high priority there, just like my delts and triceps are getting a big priority. And again, people say, well, you're going to be able to work in high pulls? Probably not. I'll just throw in some laterals to make sure my delts get finished off. The side delts. Probably what I'll need to do. By the way, the glute ham raises went good. I got 12 on all 3 sets. I think it's because I had enough break after doing the other hamstring work that I got away with that. And it works the hamstring differently. Sometimes it can be hard to do those after some of the other work. Today it went really good in spite of the hammering of the hamstrings. But my whole lower body got hit hard today. I can feel right now my hamstrings, my quads, and my adductors all still have a pump and kind of a dull ache to them. All 3 of those muscles. I can feel all of them, and I can even feel some of the different heads of the quad. Right, I can feel the VMO with a separate ache from the rectus femoris right now. And I feel my adductors, hamstrings. Actually, I even feel the vastus medialis when I touch it. It's a little sore. The lower body got hammered hard, and I think it's adding the new exercises, kind of pushing some of this stuff, doing the 2 maxes. It's a lot of work. Like, again, I'm sore, but again, I'm not trashed. Like, I feel good. I'm going to do some cardio here in a bit. I need to put in an hour on my bike, which usually helps alleviate any DOMs to a large extent. And, of course, we finish off with the reverse hypers. So again, complete lower body workout with a bias towards the posterior chain. We've got to keep bringing it up. But I feel like every muscle in my lower body got maximum hypertrophy today, from the spinal erectors all the way down to the hamstrings. Of course, even calves. Calves even get worked hard with all this, right? So a very, very productive workout with 2 good training maxes in there. And overall, I was happy with the training maxes. I'm not unhappy with either one of those lifts. They're roughly what I expected for the day. I try not to have expectations going in, but we know roughly where we're at, especially in a cut. But, neither one of them were ultra grindy. They were heavy. They were good training maxes, near maxes, but neither one of them were really grindy. We just saw a little bit of form degrading on that one max, that weak point coming out, which I wasn't happy about. And we saw the bar slow. So we found where I'm slowing on a deficit deadlift, which tells us where we need to work, where we need to put extra efforts. But I'm very happy with today's workout, so I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.